In this video I want to talk about for what Firefish is an alternative, especially from the investor side. So normal investors, what do they invest? They invest, for example, in government bonds with, for example, a duration of 2 years with a little bit of interest, maybe 2-3%. And therefore Firefish is nearly a perfect in terms of interest and in terms of duration. It's a perfect match, except of course that the interest is higher. So the interest on Firefish is generally higher compared to government bonds. So Firefish is truly an alternative to these classical investing in very good rated government bonds with a low default risk, because the central bank will in the end buy the government bonds. And Firefish works without the lender of last resort. It works just through the free market, through people which want to borrow against their Bitcoin and therefore are ready to pay a relatively high interest rate. And Firefish is not only an alternative to government bonds, it's also an alternative to investing into an ETF, into the stock market, because an ETF has for example, ETF on the global stock market has around 6 to 7% nominal interest rate or nominal return. It's not the interest rate, nominal return. And with Firefish, you get a higher interest rate, but you don't have the volatility and you have a shorter investment period, because the general rule is, you have to invest into the stock market for at least 6 years, like in a global diversified portfolio, and then you're always green, you never make a loss. That's what history tells us. And for Firefish it's even better. You can have much shorter durations. You can have 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and 24 months. And the good thing is, so the return on Firefish is higher. In addition to that, you get the return after 1 year, and then you can reinvest the whole sum, so that you can reinvest the interest and also the amount which you invested, and then you have also this interest effect. In German it's interest on interest effect. I don't know the English term at the moment, but you know what I mean. So Firefish is a competitor to government bonds, but also to ETF investment, to global diversified stock portfolio. And that's really crazy if you think about it, because otherwise, except from Bitcoin is of course the best tool to store your wealth in the long term. I would say the second best tool is like this global diversified ETF portfolios, and Firefish is better than them at the moment. Maybe the interest on Firefish will drop. I think that would make sense, at least a little bit. But at the moment, the interest from the investor side, it's better than investing in ETF. And then I would say it also competes with real estate. Real estate, you have a cash flow every month, and normally you take a lot of debt on, so you have kind of a leverage. But even with that leverage, it depends really on the quality of your real estate and a lot of other factors, the price which you bought it, of course. But studies show that most real estate investors, they make around 5 to 10%. So Firefish is even really competitive with that. And in addition to that, if you have real estate, you have also more admin expense. You have to take care of the people who live. You are a landlord and you have to do all the admin stuff, and then sometimes maybe the people who live, the renters who live in your house, they don't pay back your money and you have stress with them, and maybe you have sometimes go in front of a legal court and stuff like that. And all in all, Firefish is much less stressful, much less time consuming than that. So I would say it's also a really a competitor, or better even than real estate investment. And that's it for the moment. I just want to say that Firefish is really attractive alternative for government bonds, for globally diversified stock portfolios through ETF investing, and also through real estate. And I think not a lot of people have realized it, and Firefish or services like Firefish, which use Bitcoin as a collateral, they are the future. They will bring a lot of people from the classical investment side into Bitcoin, and hopefully when they do the investor side of Firefish, they think, oh, Bitcoin is a pretty good collateral, and it works pretty well. Maybe I should also invest in Bitcoin to hold the hardest money on earth. So thanks for watching the video, and see you next time.